got you with coverage from the NFL draft from round one, which happened last night. We made a video about it, but unfortunately, it got all screwed up, so we couldn't upload it. So we do apologize for that. But hopefully, this one doesn't get screwed up, so we can talk about what went on in the draft last night. And let me tell you, Mario, it was a pretty surprising one. I watched it with my friends last night, like I said I was gonna do, just like with a lot of people. I hope you guys are safe. It's gonna be on again tonight with the second round. So if you're gonna watch it again, like I said, be safe. Lay low on the drinking, lay low on the weed. I don't want anybody driving home intoxicated or high off their minds. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to be reporting on anybody else's death. Now, back going to the NFL draft. Mario, let me ask you a question. Are you satisfied with the pick your team got? I'll start with that.
Yeah. I mean, well, first of all, we started with the 14th pick, and I was looking, and I'm saying to myself, I was like, I was hoping that Panay Sewell, the offensive tackle out of Oregon, I hope that he was going to drop, but Detroit, of course, my rivals had to go take him. So now I gotta hate on Detroit for the rest of the year just because they want to be jerk faces to me. I'm just kidding with you. I'm just salty that we didn't get Panay. I wish him the best of luck in Detroit. I wish Detroit the best of luck, but not too much luck. Besides that, but we had the 14th pick, Nate. And I'm looking at one guy, okay? His name is Rashawn. I was looking at a few guys, but one guy was on the board, and his name was Rashawn Slater, okay? And Rashawn Slater is a good offensive lineman. So I'm thinking to myself, I'm looking. Next thing you know, with the 13th pick, they select Rashawn Slater. I'm like, all right, there goes the second offensive lineman the Vikings could have got. So at this point, your boy's not too happy. Then the Vikings trade the 14th pick to the Jets, and they get Alijah Tucker, which honestly, I didn't want Alijah Tucker. Nothing against him. I just didn't think he was a good fit for my team. So we trade down to the 23rd pick, and I'm waiting for some guy, okay? Kwity Paye. I am waiting for him. He is on the board. I am waiting for him. All of a sudden, I get the sad news that Kwity Paye is going to the Colts. And right there, Nate, out of all the other guys I got drafted, okay, I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy that Panay Sewell went to Detroit. I wasn't happy that Rashawn Slater went to the Chargers. But let me tell you something. When Kwity Paye, representing 401, got drafted by the Indianapolis Colts, I yelled the F word so hard, it was not even funny. Okay? And it was only 2 picks away. Okay? They could have just let it slip 2 picks. The Vikings could have grabbed Kwity Paye. Okay? And I would have been a happy man. Okay? You would have had a guy from Rhode Island, okay, who joined the Minnesota Vikings, and he would have connected with the biggest Vikings fan, which is me, okay, from a guy from Rhode Island. That's why. It's as simple as that. But of course, we can't have that connection no more because the Colts picked him. But with that being said, I wish him the best of luck in Indianapolis. Indianapolis is a great team. I think he'll do just fine there. But we ended up getting Christian Darrisaw, offensive lineman from Virginia Tech. I'm happy with that pick, Nate. Okay, let me tell you something about Christian Darrisaw. Last year, he played 10 games. In 10 games, he didn't let go of one sack. He didn't let go of one sack. He didn't get. I don't even. He didn't let go of one sack, and he only allowed 6 hurries, Nate, on a quarterback. That is a great offensive lineman right there. And if he can do the same thing in the NFL, I know the NFL is for the big dogs and it's the big boys, but if he can do the same thing in the NFL, Nate, this kid's gonna be something special for the next 10 years in Minnesota. I truly believe that, and I'm happy we got Christian Darrisaw. Christian Darrisaw is a great offensive lineman. I truly the ceiling for him is so high it's not even funny. And again, offensive line was definitely the number one need for the Minnesota Vikings. Despite how I wanted Kwity Paye to go to the Vikings because of the Rhode Island connection, I'm glad that we got Christian Darrisaw because offensive line was our number one need. So, Christian Darrisaw, welcome to the Minnesota Vikings. I'm going to welcome you with open arms. The Minnesota Vikings are definitely going to do that. That's why they picked you. And I wish him the best of luck as a Minnesota Viking. And you know what, man? I'm going to do this right now because I don't do this for a lot of people. But Christian Darrisaw, welcome to Skull Nation. Now, let me ask you a question, Nate, okay? Are you happy with the pick that the Panthers got?
Yeah, actually, I'm actually happy with that. I low key like it. We need another cornerback. And even though we could have gotten Patrick Surtain, obviously the Denver Broncos picked him up, which I think is a really good fit for him. He would have been really nice in Carolina too. But I'm happy with J.C. Horn. Um, obviously, Patrick Surtain was the top cornerback. Not cornerback, cornerback. Excuse me. Too many backs in here. But look, he was obviously a top cornerback. In this draft, obviously the Panthers didn't get him. We passed up on him, which honestly, I'm not so sure why, but they got another cornerback, and I hope he does really well. He's joining a very young and very promising defense. Shaq Thompson's still there. You got Jeremy Chin, who's a runner-up for the defensive rookie of the year last year. Of course, Chase Young won. That was pretty expected. Brian Burns is there. He's a really, really good defender. Derek Brown is there as well. Hassan Reddick just joined them, so that's a really good addition to the defense as well. So he's joining a really young and talented defense, and I do think if the Panthers get it right this year, that will be one of the best defenses in the league, hands down. I'm being honest with you. They showed a lot of promise last year. Jeremy Chin, was his first year. Brian Burns was his second. Shaq Thompson's a veteran on the team. He was also a first year player as well. Hassan Reddick's been in the league for quite some time. So now now we added a couple of veterans. Now we're drafting more defense, and I like that. Obviously adding on to something that needs more improvement, which I like out of Matt Rule. But now my question to Matt Rule is this: This is his eighth ever pick as a Carolina Panthers head coach, and all of them have been on defense, which is good. Don't get me wrong, that's great. My question is now: Are you going to draft an offensive player? Which is truly what I think he needs to do. He needs to draft a quarterback, and he needs to draft a wide receiver. That's it. Maybe a tight end. I don't think we need a tight end. Dan Arnold's our new tight end, and I have a lot of faith in him. He was really good in Arizona. So I don't really think we need a tight end for the moment. But I think personally right now, what else you need to draft? Obviously, anybody on defense will help. We needed a corners ever since Trey Boston left. I'm pretty sure he was a safety, but whatever. We need a safety anyway. But a cornerback helps too. Yeah. So other than the cornerback situation, that hopefully J.C. Horn addresses that situation, which he definitely will do. He was a really good cornerback in college, very good defender from what I've seen. He had a few forced fumbles, he had a couple interceptions and a few sacks, so he was actually really good. And usually cornerbacks don't get sacks, so for him to have a few of them on his stat sheet is actually really good. But yeah. Other than that though, I'm asking Matt Rule to do one thing: draft an offensive player, please. We need it. Curtis Samuel left. There's no good support for Sam Darnold. We need another wide receiver to help out Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore because they can't do everything themselves. You feel what I'm saying? And we need a quarterback in case Sam Darnold either goes down with an injury, which knock on wood it doesn't happen, or if he isn't what we want him to be, which of course knock on wood I hope it doesn't happen for him. But other than that, I'm happy with this. More defense, more improvement. I like what's going on here in Carolina. Now,
All right. Oh, you want to ask a question? You go
I'll
first.
ask you. I'll ask one more question. Who do you think won the first round? So as of right now,
My question is, I'm glad we're on the same page. I'm gonna be real, you, Nate. I think I think the biggest winners of day one, I think the biggest winners were the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Mhm.
I do. And the reason why I say Jacksonville is because obviously you had the number one pick and you picked up Trevor Lawrence. Okay, that's obviously a great pick. We expect him to be the future quarterback of the Jacksonville Jaguars. But then you go look at the Jacksonville Jaguars, right, Nate?
Mhm.
And I'm looking through the draft right now. And next thing you know, they get another pick in this draft and they grab Travis Etienne. Trevor
Mhm.
Lawrence's teammate at Clemson. So you
Yeah,
got
they
two.
grabbed him at 25, right?
And ETN is a hard, yeah, 25. And
Yeah.
ETN is a hard runner, man. Like obviously we were talking about Najee, and I believe that Najee is the best running back in this game in this draft. But ETN was a dog in Clemson. That was a man. That was a guy who would run for extra yards. I am a big fan of Travis Etienne. Now here's the problem with that. You have James Robinson. James Robinson is a good running back too for
Yeah,
Jacksonville.
I was questioning that.
So it was a questionable pick, but at the same time, I think it was a dub because I think if you could create a running back duo between Travis Etienne and James Robinson, Jacksonville is going to be a scary teammate
Yeah.
on offense. They really are. They're getting scary. They're getting Urban Meyer. As soon as Urban Meyer, and I've said it many times on this channel, Nate, I love Urban Meyer. I don't like Urban Meyer. I love Urban Meyer. Okay. As soon as I heard Urban Meyer went to the Jacksonville Jaguars, I said he's going to change his team around. I don't care that he came from college to the NFL. He was going to change his team around, and I think he's doing that quickly. So I mean, look, gotta give them credit. Gotta give that front office of Jacksonville. I gotta give them credit. They did pretty good in that first round. I think the biggest dub though, I think they won the first round. The Jacksonville Jaguars. I think the biggest dub. I hate to say it, but it was Chicago.
Yeah.
It was Chicago. And why? Because
They need a
I
quarterback.
thought Justin Fields should have went third. to the San Francisco 49ers, but they ended up picking Trey Lance. Credit due. Trey Lance is a very good quarterback. But when you see probably the potential second best quarterback in this draft drop to number 11, Chicago Bears went for it, Nate. They got rid of 3 picks to go get that 1 pick. And the one thing that the Chicago Bears needed the most was a quarterback. And they went in there and they got him. Okay? And Justin Fields is a very good quarterback, okay? He's a very good quarterback.
Mhm.
So I think that was the biggest dub of that first round was Justin Fields going to the Chicago Bears. I think the Chicago Bears in a long time have finally found their number 1 quarterback. We thought it was going to be Trubisky when he got drafted. That didn't happen. Okay. Before Trubisky, their best quarterback was probably Jay Cutler. Like, it is saddening. I think the last decent quarterback that the Bears had was McMahon back in like 1980 something. That's it. Everybody else, no. Jay Cutler, no. Kyle Orton, no. Trubisky, no.
Nope.
Chase Daniels, no.
Nope.
So when you really look at it, they haven't had a good quarterback. Oh, Nick Foles, no. Dalton, no.
Well, Dalton hasn't played a game yet.
Right, Dalton's there now, and he is named the starter for Week 1 most likely. But give it a couple games, I think Justin Fields is definitely going to turn out to be the starter. I think Justin Fields has turned into the future quarterback of the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, I agree.
And hey, look, congratulations to him. I mean, if the Chicago Bears can make a few more adjustments, if they can make a few more improvements, kind of build that wide receiver group a little bit. And the second round has a lot of talented wide receivers in it. So you never know what could happen. So when you really look at it, Nate, Chicago could end up building his team. They can end up flipping the switch and turning Chicago Bears back into a playoff contender. Now, since you asked that question about the biggest dub, who do you think lost the first round? Who do you think lost the first round?
Easy.
Who do you think had the biggest L in the first round?
Easy. Bengals. For both of them. Let me tell you something, okay? No, don't get me wrong. The guy they picked is absolutely fantastic. Jamar Chase is one of the best wide receivers in college.
Yeah, remember that. Remember that.
Right there. But let me tell you something, okay, Mario? I've said this many, many times, Mario. You need to draft offensive linemen. You pass up on Penny Swelly. You pass up on Rashawn Slater. Are you kidding? Are you freaking kidding me right now? Is it just screw Joe Burrow's life? I mean, I get there are teammates, and Jamar Chase is a very excellent wide receiver, and I wish him the best of luck, and I would really love to see him. It's not against him; it's against what's going on in Cincinnati. Now I get it, you need more offense because overall the team's not really that good. But you need right now the biggest need of that team is protection for your quarterback, your future quarterback, your franchise quarterback, Joe Burrow. Have you seen the latest press photos of the new uniforms they just released? You can see the scar on his leg. Doesn't that give you an idea? Oh, hey, I need an offensive lineman. Of course I do. But you didn't get one. Why? Why didn't you do it? Why didn't you do it? Like, I think they needed to get an offensive lineman. Hey, Jamar Chase is a good pick, but I truly think that this is a loss for them because what's going to happen to Joe Burrow now if they don't draft an offensive lineman? What's going to happen?
All right, let me explain. All right. Oh, you don't what you said. Right?
Yeah, I'm done. You can go.
Okay, so here's what I'll say about that. Okay. First of all, Jamar Chase, that is my guy right there. Okay, I fell in love with him as soon as I seen him put so many corners on a spin cycle. Okay, I remember he put Trayvon Diggs in the spin cycle, and I like Trayvon Diggs. I remember when he completely destroyed AJ Terrell in the national championship game. Jamar Chase is a once-in-a-generation wide receiver. I'm going to say that right now. I mean that. I'm sticking by it until he proves me wrong. I think Jamar Chase and Devontae Smith are those once-in-a-generation wide receivers. I really do. I like that pick by them, okay? I'm not saying it's the best pick by them. I agree with you. And in a smart case, you should have got Penei Sewell. That was definitely the best offensive lineman. He is a once-in-a-generation offensive lineman. But there are so many good offensive linemen in this draft that haven't been selected yet. Sam Cosmi is a good offensive lineman. Creed Humphrey, Wyatt Davis, these guys are good offensive linemen. Okay, I understand. I completely agree with you. Joe Burrow definitely needs protection because he was basically in the danger zone behind that line in Cincinnati. So I understand why people were upset over that pick. But I expected that pick to happen because I expected Joe Burrow to team up with his former teammate at LSU and Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase is a fantastic wide receiver, and I understand. A fantastic wide receiver, it doesn't mean anything if they don't have that offensive line. Now, look, right now, because currently the second round is going on, we'll talk about that tomorrow. This day two, we'll talk about day two tomorrow. The Cincinnati Bengals had the sixth pick. With that sixth pick, they need to get an offensive lineman. I agree. They need to start building that offensive line because that offensive line is horrible. Okay. And obviously you look at Joe Burrow, what happened to him, and that should be, motivation to go grab an offensive lineman. They didn't do that. But look, man, Ja'Marr Chase, I mean, it's so hard to pass up on him. Like I just see the name and I can't help myself, because he's Ja'Marr Chase. It's the same thing with Justin Jefferson. You see the name. I don't know how another 20 teams passed him up, but you see the name, you can't pass that up. It's the same thing with Ja'Marr Chase. Now, again, I think he's on a pretty loaded team. They have Tyler Boyd. They have I don't think they don't have AJ Green no more. He ended up leaving. I think
he went to the Cardinals.
Right. But they got Tyler Boyd. They have I'm trying to think. I know they got more. Hang on a second. Bengals. I'm gonna look it up right now. Because they do have a good team. T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd. So they do got some decent wide receivers. They got Joe Mixon, who's a good running back. So they do have a good team, which means Ja'Marr Chase is definitely going to have not competition, but he's going to have, a lot of good teammates around him. But you don't pick Ja'Marr Chase that early and expect him not to be a number one. That's what I got to say about that. You don't pick him that early. You don't pick him at number 5, and he ain't going to be a number 1. Simple as that. So again, I expect Ja'Marr Chase to make that big splash. Who I think the biggest L? You know who I think took the biggest L? Las Vegas. Getting Alex Leatherwood. And here's the thing. It's nothing against Alex Leatherwood, okay? Here's the one. I knew a little bit about Alex Leatherwood. He was on my list. I made a whole list of guys I wanted the Vikings to go grab. He was on that list. You know what made me change my mind? They win the national championship, right? He goes to the Senior Bowl. Okay? Now, I understand that you just won a national championship. So I understand the Senior Bowl isn't the biggest thing. But I want a guy who's going to be trying, giving 100% every single time. He went into the Senior Bowl. It's like he didn't even care. He had picks that were supposed to be first rounders. They're now second rounders. He had guys burning him. He had guys going right past him that he couldn't block. I did not like that. Alex, and not only that, Las Vegas had a chance to get Christian Darrisaw. They had a chance. That was the third best offensive lineman in this draft, Christian Darrisaw. They had a chance to grab him, and they picked Alex Leatherwood. So with that being said, for Las Vegas, thank you, because now we have Christian Darrisaw, and I am a happy Vikings fan. Okay, so that makes Mario happy, and that's cool. But look, going to an analyst standpoint, they should have picked Darrisaw. Okay, he was on a very good team. I give him credit. But when that Senior Bowl came, he didn't really try, and it's not even that. A lot of people said the Las Vegas Raiders screwed it up by not getting Darrisaw. But hey, look, time will tell. I think personally that was the biggest L right there. I think even the Packers, you can argue that they took the L. Because you know what's going on with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Even though, again, I'm not the biggest fan of Aaron Rodgers because I'm not a Packers fan. But you know what's going on with him. You know how he's not happy. Go get Elijah Moore. He was up there. He was on the board. Go get Elijah Moore, that Ole Miss wide receiver. Elijah Moore, Nate, is now a New York Jet. So I think the Packers and the Raiders, I think they're tied for the biggest. I think they're tied for the biggest L. I really am. I think they really did fail that first round. I think that's 2 years in a row that the Green Bay Packers messed it up. And look, I think after that, unless they get somebody that Aaron Rodgers is really appealed by, I don't think Aaron Rodgers stays. I don't think he's gonna. I think he might end up he might play, maybe not. I'm not sure. But.
I'm following that situation very closely. I just read that he's highly considering retirement because they even said this morning the Packers said they're not trading him, so he may consider retirement.
I would love that. Nothing would make me more happier as a Vikings fan to watch Aaron Rodgers retire, go to Jeopardy, and watch him become a Nothing would make me happier. Seriously. I don't want him on another team. No, I don't want to see that no more. Aaron Rodgers, okay, you're not listening to us, but someday you're going to find this video, and someday you're going to listen to it. Listen to me right now. As a Vikings fan, do me a favor. Retire and become the new host of Jeopardy. I think he did good at Jeopardy. I think he did good. Okay? His fiance loves Jeopardy. Go to Jeopardy. Stop it.
Yeah, and have more contestants ask him more questions about the Green Bay Packers because those are funny.
Look, but nah. In all seriousness, though, I think the two biggest L's of day one, I think it was Las Vegas and I think it was Green Bay. You could say the Cincinnati Bengals, I understand it, but Jamar Chase is just too good of a wide receiver to pass up on. I understand. I understand. Panay Sewell is a great offensive lineman as well, but I think they saw Jamar Chase and I think they knew that was going to be his guy. And I think Joe Burrow had a big. I think Joe Burrow might have had a big part about that. To be honest with you, and making Joe Burrow happy. But you know what? I hope that they can go get some offensive linemen. I'm gonna double check it right now just to see if the Cincinnati Bengals drafted an offensive lineman. Okay,
It's
just to
on right
see.
now, so they probably haven't come up yet. But I wanna ask one more question. I want to talk about underrated drafts.
Yeah, but before you go to that, I just want to say this: the
Mhm.
Bengals traded down to number 14.
Oh, great! Don't imagine what these people are doing.
But
Oh my.
you're asking me about who I think the most underrated pick was.
Yeah, I'll say this. I think the Giants had an underrated pick. Kadarius Tony.
I agree with who
I
that is a
that dude,
bad
I
boy.
seen him play a few games. He's one of the fastest wide receivers I think I've ever seen in my life.
You see the highlights they were showing? Like, this is a
Yeah,
dude
dude's
very
insane,
small
dude.
and is
It's,
like slipping through everything.
it's
I love Kadarius Tony, man.
I dude. I remember I was watching the draft and Giants fans looked at them like, "We don't want this guy." I'm like, "Are you serious? Like, do you know who this guy is?
Look, I understand
Kadarius
like Jamar
Tony."
Chase, Jalen Waddle, Devontae Smith. I get all of that. Kadarius Tony is a bad boy.
That that was probably right there. That was such a good pick by the Giants.
It
Personally,
was,
I think that you could even
and they
make the case
got
for this
more
being
out
the
of it.
best. Personally, I think, in my opinion, I think that was the best pick in this draft. Probably not a winner. I think that was the best pick, especially for them
Nobody
moving
was the
forward.
best. I think to be honest with you, Devontae Smith by the Eagles, that might have been like, well,
That
Justin
might,
Fields best, but I think like Devontae Smith for wide receivers was up there. But
yeah, definitely,
Kadarius Tony, man, oh my God, that what he did for he helped Kyle Trask a lot last season, a lot.
yeah,
And a lot of people look at Kyle Pitts. Kadarius Tony was the other part of that.
yeah,
Here's what I'll say though, Nate. I'm gonna point to a different wide receiver, okay? Underrated pick. Give me Rashad Bateman out of Minnesota. That's a
yeah,
bad boy right there. That
yeah.
is a bad going to Baltimore with Lamar and Marquise Brown. That is Rashad Bateman is a bad man. I'm sorry, but like that's Rashad Bateman definitely deserved to get drafted first round. If he did not get drafted first round, I think I was gonna literally puke. Rashad Bateman, and I remember he decided to opt out last season, but then he came back, or he just decided not to opt out. I can't remember. He was on First Take talking about it when the pandemic really started hitting us. But Rashad Bateman is a very very good wide receiver, very good. And Minnesota has a little bit of a history getting good guys from Minnesota. You look at Antoine Winfield. You look at they have Tyler Johnson as well as a wide receiver there in Tampa Bay. Yeah, so Minnesota is very good at getting those types of guys. I think Rashad Bateman is definitely going to be a key player for the Baltimore Ravens offense. So that, in my opinion, that's my underrated pick. Um, so yeah, that's who I'll pick as my underrated pick. Obviously, all the other picks they seem to be what they were. Some surprising picks, Nate. I'll say this. I'll ask you this question, but I want to answer it first. The most surprising part about this whole draft, you know what it was for me? How many players ended up teaming up with their former player teammates?
Yeah, yeah.
Like you can start with Trevor Lawrence and Trevor Etienne. There's one right there for you, Nate. You could start with Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow, Jalen Waddle and Tua Tagovailoa. You could start with Patrick Surtain and Jerry Jeudy. No, no, my bad. Nobody's on Alabama for the Philadelphia Eagles. You could do I'm trying to look right here real quick. I'm going down. Um, Sorry, it's gonna take me a little bit, but I know there's more. Hang on a second. You can you just look at it, Nate, and there were a few picks here that are going to reunite with their former teammates. And I think that is the biggest surprise on how many teammates are going to be reunited with their former teammates. Like just so that is the biggest surprise for me because I didn't expect it to be so many guys, you know?
Right. That surprised me, but there's one thing in particular that surprised me a lot, and that's the fact that so many teams passed up on Devontae Smith.
Yeah.
Carolina Panthers could have gotten him. The Miami Dolphins could have gotten him, which is actually where I expected him to go instead of Joe. When I heard Joe and Waddle, I was like, which is a very good pick for him, you know. But it surprised me because I like that was the team everybody thought he was going to go to. That and Jamar Chase. You know what I mean? I was surprised that I'm surprised the Carolina Panthers passed him. I was a guy I actually wanted to see him in black and blue. The Detroit Lions could have gotten him. You know, the Denver Broncos could have gotten him. But I gotta give credit to the Philadelphia Eagles. They redeemed themselves. They got themselves a really, really good player. They looked at the last two drafts and they realized their mistakes. I don't think they're gonna try and rewrite them. You know, as much as dumb as Howie Roseman can be sometimes, I think he wants to play it smart this time. You know, he wants to recreate what they did a few years ago, and I respect that. But I think that's what really surprised me the most is how long it took for Devontae Smith to get picked. He's a Heisman Trophy winner, and he barely made top 10. That alone surprised me. That was pretty surprised by that. But he's on his new team, and that team's the Philadelphia Eagles. So all you damn Eagles fans out there, all you crazy Philadelphia fans, oh man, I hope you guys are happy. But yeah, we got that's it. That's pretty much it. We got for you guys from round one of the 2021 NFL draft. It was a pretty interesting one. It was definitely one worth watching. Um, round two of the NFL draft is on right now. So make sure you guys tune in to that, see who your teams get. And other than that, that was the 2021 NFL draft for you guys. We hope if you're watching the draft now, you know, stay safe. You know, be careful out there. You know how it be on them roads. And you know, if you're gonna be drinking or smoking or whatever the case might be, again, keep it to a low. I don't want to have to see someone getting hurt. You know, so just stay safe. You know, be with each other. You know, all get together. It's football. It's America's sport. It's what we do. But hey, and order some food while you're at it. Oh, and don't forget about them damn Skittles. You feel what I'm saying? But look, nah, best of luck to everybody in the draft as well. You know, best of luck to the NFL for this event, and I'm excited to see who gets picked next.